Hey everyone, this is Norris Tony coming back to y'all with another video. I'm going to read an article from TMZ, and this is who I'm going to be talking. Oh, it's called Nene Leaks Sued Over Swagg Boutique Store. You owe us rent. That's who I'm going to be reading this article about, and the person I'm going to be talking about. Nene Leakes is being taken to court over her shop, Swagg Boutique. Her former landlord says she owes a bunch of dough in unpaid rent. According to the docs obtained by TMZ, Nene's being sued by her landlord at Sugarloaf Mills, the shopping center where her women's clothing store once stood. The landlord says Leakes first signed a lease agreement back in 2017 and then extended it for another year in 2021. However, the landlord claims she vacated in January 2022 when the term ended, but never paid off the balance of $22,900 owed under the lease. The landlord allegedly sent Nene a letter last month telling her to pay up to avoid any legal woes, but says she never ponied up the money. So now Nene is being dragged to court, and the landlord wants damages to cover the back rent plus its attorney fees. For those unaware, the RHOA Stars Swagg Boutique stores shut down in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it reportedly wasn't long after finally reopening that she began holding going out of business sales at her multiple locations. We reached out to Nene's rep for comments. So far, no word back. Okay. Nene Leakes getting sued for unpaid back rent. Now that's funny, considering that Nene was not too long ago doing an interview with Carlos King. She was talking about her time on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She also was talking about, I'm not going to go word for word what she was talking about, but I'll point out some things. She was talking about housewives who wasn't, stars. Like, she called Robin and Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac. She called them starless. And she got a point, you know what I'm saying? They are starless. Robin and Giselle, they don't even know how to produce real storylines or produce the truth on Real Housewives of Potomac. They outside of the Housewives of Potomac, they have a podcast called Reasonably Shady. That podcast is dry and it's boring and starless, just like them. And then she talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta now. She talked about her dream cast for season 16. She talked about that changes and stuff need to be made to the show, and that the show not as good as it used to be when she was on it. And that's true. It's not Real Housewives of Atlanta is not as good as it used to be. She do got a point. And she was also talking about the women on that show. She said she don't see none of them as being stars. She said maybe few of them had potential, but she said, none of them that's on the show currently. She said none of the women on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she said none of them are stars in her eyes. And then what else did she talk? She talked about other, like her lawsuit. She dropped her lawsuit against Bravo last year, I believe, in October 2022, but I know it's in 2022. She dropped her lawsuit against Bravo. But the reason why I don't think Nene can go back to Bravo and for any jobs or any TV shows is because she did file a lawsuit against them, and then she called Andy a cokehead and a racist. And she talked about, Kim Zolciak. The thing about Killer Kim Z is that she talked about Kim being a racist and stuff like that, said negative things about her, but you cool with her recently. Seemed like she talks about her and then she goes back to being friends with her. That's something that don't make sense to me. But she had a point what she said about Kim. She should have stood on it instead. But basically, I'm going to talk about a little background history about Nene right quick. Like, Nene, she was one of the best housewives on reality TV. Especially, she did put Real Housewives of Atlanta. She put that show on the map. She really did. But she took herself off the map because of her ego and her attitude. It's like she had it going on back in the day on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She went to Hollywood and she was on the show Glee. She was on The New Normal. She was being in plays on Broadway. She was going doing a road tour, doing stand-up comic. She was a stand-up comedian doing comedy. So it was like, Nene had a bunch of good opportunities and she had it going on. And Housewives, being on the Housewives of Atlanta, gave her those opportunities. Those doors was open for her. And like I said, she had great one-liners and great catchphrases when she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But it's like when she went to Hollywood, it's like her head got too big. I think she took like one season off from Real Housewives of Atlanta. But when she came back, her head, like I said, she thought that she was better than the women. She thought she was too good to be around the women. She acted like she didn't really want to be around them. But it's like, the main person that Nene, had issues with on the show and hated on was Kandi. It's like when Kandi came on the scene, in season 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's like Nene thought that Kandi was gonna take her shine. I think she was jealous of Kandi because Kandi was already a star before she came on the show. And Nene called herself trying to compete with Kandi instead of trying to learn from Kandi on how to not only how to be a star, but stay a star. Kandi is humble. Kandi is nice. Kandi is professional. She easy to work with, and it's like Nene. The more and more Nene was in the spotlight, she acted like a star that had fell from grace because of her ego and her attitude, and then she became difficult for Bravo to work with, and people on the producers and the other ladies to work with on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So it's like the only thing Nene has done outside of Real Housewives of Atlanta, because her last season was season 12, the virtual reunion. She walked off of that reunion when they was all wearing white and they did it online, the reunion. After that, since season 12, Nene, the only show she's done has been College Hill, the celebrity edition of College Hill, and that was season 1. But outside of that, Nene has done nothing. It's like she done faded off of the face of the entertainment industry, basically. But it's like, what I'm trying to say is, instead of doing interviews with Carlos King and focusing on the other ladies on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you should have been making sure you was taking care of your business with your boutique, your stores, your locations that you had that store in. Cause it's like you kind of remind me of Peter Thomas in a way. You know, he not paying his back rent. He ain't paying his rent on his Bar One restaurants, especially the ones in Florida, Miami. You know, so it's like you and him got that in common. Y'all not paying y'all got these businesses, but y'all not paying y'all rent. Y'all falling behind. In thousands of dollars behind. So it's like, but Nene, ain't you supposed to have some money? If you got some money somewhere, Nene, pay your rent. Pay your back rent, girl. You know, I don't blame Wendy Williams when she called you that girl over there. You know, cause she was friends with Wendy Williams too, and I guess that friendship is over. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if her and Wendy's still cool or not. But I know Wendy Williams once called her that girl over there. And Nene, since the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you are that girl over there. Because like I said, you have not done too much since your appearance on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And while you was talking all that shit that you was talking about Andy and talking about Bravo and stuff, I don't blame them for not inviting you back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I wouldn't give your butt a job either. You know, you wanted to act like you was the head bitch in charge at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and like I said, you messed your stardom up. You know, you messed your career up as far as Bravo goes. And it's like, you want to talk about those ladies not being stars? Kandi is the star of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Her and Kenya Moore are the stars. They the faces of that show now. And Kandi been the longest running housewife. She's been on a housewife for 14 seasons. Longer than you or any OG. So it's like Kandi, she is a star. She was a star. She been a star since the 90s with her group Escape. Kandi is a businesswoman. You know, you could have learned a lot from Kandi, Nene. You could have really learned a lot from her. Because Kandi, you know, she's a giver. She gives. You know what I'm saying? She gives more than she receives. She knows how to keep a job. She's easy to work with. She's very professional. She's an actress. You know, she's a movie producer. You know, she producing movies and shows on plays on Broadway and all that stuff. See, Kandi got it going on. She been in the entertainment industry for like about 30 years. So it's like Kandi would have been a good mentor for you, Nene. She would have been she's somebody you really could have learned from. Because Kandi would have helped you. She would have gave you opportunities had you embraced her and gave her a real chance. Because I know you and her was cool on the show for a few seasons. You know, y'all was cool. But for some reason, you could never really get out of your head enough to build a friendship with her. Because like I said, had you really been down with Kandi, y'all could have ran the entertainment industry together. You know, because like I said, you still would be a star. Had you let Kandi take you under her wing, you know, because you grew yourself into a star, but you could have still been a star had you been cool with Kandi. Because Kandi would have definitely been happy to give you opportunities, and she would have been happy to help you along the way. But like I said, I know you was a stripper before you became a real housewife. You know, you was a stripper, but still, you had it made in the sunshade, Nene, and you threw that all away. You messed all that up because of your ego, your pride, and your attitude. You let Hollywood, your head got too big once you got to Hollywood. And then, not only that, but you also plastic surgery gone wrong. You know, you sit up there and got all them like five nose jobs. You done messed your nose up. You know, it looked like your skin is getting a little lighter, you know, than it used to be. So it's like, Nene, you wasted time and money on them plastic surgeries because you didn't need no surgery. You look good. Your original face and nose looked good. But like I said, you messed that up. So it's like, Nene, you can't even, you call your store Swagg Boutique, but you don't even have no swag. You don't even have enough swag to keep that business up and running. You know, so it's like, Nene, stop hating on Candy so much. You always want to hate on Candy, talking about she this and she that. But let me tell you something about Candy. She don't owe no back rent. She owns her restaurants. Her Blaze and the Old Lady Gang are still up and running. She might have had some problems and some issues with those restaurants, but guess what? They are up and running, baby. She don't owe no back rent. Plus, if she had a landlord, she paid that landlord off, or at least she paying her landlord. You know, because she built them restaurants from the ground up. So like I said, she don't owe no back rent. She ain't behind on her rent, unlike you. You know, because so the business thing ain't working out for you either. Just like the restaurant business ain't really working out for Peter, you being a store owner, that's not working out for you either, baby. And then you tried to own a club. You came out with a club in a restaurant together. But guess what, Nene? That didn't work out for you as well. So like I said, Nene, either if you got the money, pay your before I make this point, I'm gonna go back to say, Nene, you can make a comeback. I will say this, you can make a comeback. I think you still got enough entertainment in you to still come back on TV, but not Bravo. They don't want you back. They're not gonna open the doors for you there. But Carlos King, he can help you. He can give you a show. I think you and him will work well together. But until then, Nene, you need to stop hating on Candy, you know, and the other housewives. And again, you lied talking about Marlo is the most entertaining one on Real Housewives of Atlanta. No, she not. Her and her canned peach. Marlo trying desperately hard to hold on to that peach. So like I said, she is not the most entertaining on that show. You know, she created unnecessary drama with Candy too. Because Candy has helped her out as well. But like I said, she dropped the ball or dropped the bag just like you did. But anyway, yes, Nene. Until then, you need to be focused and should have been focusing on your store. You should have been focusing on keeping your businesses running. But you're not good at that. You're not good when it comes to business either. So if you got the money, you need to pay your back taxes. That's what you need to do. You need to pay, not back taxes, but back rent. You need to pay your rent, girl. If not, then get you a good lawyer and get prepared to have your day in court. But good luck to you, Nene, because you're going to need it. But anyway, I hope you all like this video. Please like this video because it helps my channel. But until then, I hope you all like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Thanks for watching, and you all have a good evening. Peace.